Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here. It's time to have a chat about the new Galaxy S25 Ultra. I've been using it for about a week now as my main device. We'll definitely chat about that new S Pen. Yes, it's new this year. Samsung hasn't changed it in a few years, and I do say new, but that doesn't mean better. By the way, Samsung still has all their great trade-in deals. I will link to those down in the description if you're interested in picking up any of the new Samsung Galaxy S25 devices, but I want to talk further about my impressions on the design, some camera thoughts, and I'm going to test out some of the camera features as well, talk about some battery life, and a few other things as well. So let's get started on my 1 week impressions of the Galaxy S25 Ultra. While the S25 Ultra looks fairly similar to the S24, it still has some meaningful upgrades in terms of design. I like the addition of the more rounded corners. It doesn't dig into my palm nearly as much. It's a lot more comfortable to hold in long term. Also, the flat sides are fantastic. There's a ton of real estate to hold on to. It's really easy when you're using the phone with one hand. Speaking of that S24 Ultra, there's a meaningful difference in the weight. 232 grams on the S24 and only 218 on the S25 Ultra. So it's a noticeable difference in the weight. Again, making the S25 Ultra more comfortable to use long term. I have found after putting my phone in my pocket, there is some dust that does collect in between the camera lenses. That's kind of hard to get out. That's just one of the downsides of the formation of their lenses. We'll talk more about those camera lenses in just a little bit. Samsung, yet again, has included an incredible looking display. The viewing angles are fantastic. The colors really pop. I actually turned down the saturation, believe it or not, and I thought the colors just looked a little bit better, a little bit more accurate. That's more of a personal preference, so I switched the screen mode from vivid to natural. Something they didn't talk a lot about, but is very nice, the anti-glare feature is still there, so it does not reflect nearly as much as other glossier screens that are out there. The bezels are also noticeably thinner. This is just a strikingly good-looking phone. Every time I unlock it, I'm blown away. All right, let's talk about the staple of the original Galaxy Note series, that S Pen, which was brought over to the Ultra variant of their Galaxy S lineup. As I mentioned, it's new this year, but it's a bit of a downgrade. They got rid of Bluetooth capabilities with the S Pen. With Bluetooth, Samsung had air actions where you could do things like switching camera lenses just from the S Pen and certain gestures like it was a wand. I really didn't use that very much, but the one I did use was using it as a shutter button. So you could set up the phone and bring this with you and press the button to take pictures. Now I know there's a lot of backlash, but let me know what you think if you really do use your S Pen's Bluetooth capabilities that often. It seems like Samsung doesn't think a lot of people did use them that much. I used it for mainly just snapping pictures. A lot of people were asking, why is there still a button on the S Pen? Well, just look at the S Pen that they include in the case of the Galaxy Z Fold. Yes, it still has a button. No, it doesn't have Bluetooth. This could potentially be the future of the Galaxy S lineup. Apps can still take advantage of that button, like the Samsung Notes app can switch your input to the eraser. With the lack of Bluetooth, there's really no need to charge the S Pen anymore, and there's no need to really house it in the body, which maybe Samsung's going towards the route of making it even slimmer, getting rid of the S Pen and thinning down that phone. That's all just a personal guess. I don't actually know if that's Samsung's end goal. I hope they continue to house the S Pen in the phone. I do know a lot of people still use cases, so if they make you buy a case extra like they do with the Z Fold for the S Pen, I know some people are going to be upset. Obviously, you can still use Circle to search, press and hold the home button, circle something, and it will Google search that specific image. However, Samsung's gone a step further with their AI Select feature. So here's a quick video. If I swipe over, I have AI Select here. So what it's going to do is very similar. Analyze something that you're selecting. So if I select this specific video, it knows it's a video. I can generative edit. I can set as a wallpaper. I can also create a GIF if I wanted to, where I hit record. And then if I play if the video was playing, it would create it, but you get the point. There's a lot of other useful features built into AI Select. It doesn't just take a picture and Google it. So let's say, for example, I wanted to know how many inches 174.22 millimeters is. Let's convert that. 6.858 inches, how many feet, how many centimeters, and look, it even says 6.9 inches right there, so it is accurate. What about storage? What if I wanted to know how many terabytes of storage that is? What do you know? It transfers that over to megabytes and terabytes. If you select maybe some more text, let's say you have an address, you can go to Maps, a phone number will go to your dialer app, you even have writing assist. Let's select a lot more and hit writing assist. You can do spelling and grammar, writing style, summarize. So I really like AI Select. You don't need the S Pen for that. You can use your finger, obviously. All right, let's talk about the camera on the back. Samsung introduced Galaxy Log, so you can shoot in log now. It looks really flat. It probably looks like it doesn't have any color. That is on purpose because then it gives you more granular control over the color correction afterwards. And you can even do it all on the phone. So you can shoot in log and then it gives you the option to add color. So now this is what the scene should actually look like. It's nice to have. You have a lot of flexibility and control over your video shot. Now here's a test of the ultra wide angle lens video recording in 4K. Also, there's a lot of noise around me. I want to test that audio removal. It's pretty windy. There's cars going by. There's a lot going on, and let's do it. Okay, so now this should be completely audio removed, so to speak, and Samsung will identify 6 sounds at the moment, like wind, background noise, crowds, voices, things like that. So see for yourself. Keep note of, again, the ultra-wide angle lens because it is new on this phone. Starting with the ultra-wide angle lens, check out how smooth the zoom is when I'm doing a video. Samsung brought us to a Golden State Warriors game, and just look at this. First of all, the quality of the zoom is incredible, but notice it's physically changing lenses, and it still looks really smooth like a camcorder. Also, shout out to the Bulls. They did lose this game, unfortunately. Obviously, a lot of AI in terms of software, but I do want to talk about that Now bar, and you'll see it up in the upper left-hand corner here, but it sits at the bottom of the lock screen as well, and you can have multiple open at once. I do like the animation going back and forth. I had a song playing just to show it off. Hey, any soccer fans here? Champions League is going on. You can tap on it to interact with it. If I unlock, by the way, fingerprint scanner has been great. You'll notice that ongoing action is in the upper left, where you can also tap on it and just get more information about what's going on. And pulling down, there it is under live notifications. And also their Now Brief, which will still get updates over time depending on what my schedule is, some weather alerts, some news. Here's a playlist for the afternoon to think of. It's still going to take in health data and more, just learning my habits. Again, it's only been a week, so it hasn't quite calculated everything yet. Speaking of that navigation bar, I really tried to do the split version and just couldn't quite get into it. You can go back and forth and fully customize all of these panels, but if you go into settings, you can actually separate them with quick panel on the left or right hand side. It is nice that you can customize it, don't get me wrong, but again, I just could not quite get used to this back and forth with notifications on the left and quick settings on the right, because if I go on the left here, there's notifications. If I go on the right with the pull down, it doesn't pull down those quick settings. Even if I do the quick action, I have to go all the way up to the top right corner to get to those quick panels. So maybe they could split the screen so I can quick swipe down from the right or left. Then I might be more privy to use it, but otherwise it takes 2 actions, one from the left and then over. Also, finally, a really welcome addition. You can have a vertical scrolling app drawer out of the box. Just hit sort, alphabetical order, and there it is, up and down. Really nice, and just something that I was looking for. I noticed charging is faster on the S25 Ultra in comparison to the 24 Ultra, and battery life has been better. It definitely gets me through a day with ease. Anyways, that's everything from me on the brand new Galaxy S25 Ultra. Talked about the comparison with the S24 Ultra and even the case of the Z Fold. Drop a comment, let me know what you think. I'm curious to hear what you have to say about the S Pen, but again, a lot of nice improvements to the flagship from Samsung. Of course, a lot more videos coming soon, so be sure to click that subscribe button down below. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and as always, thanks for watching. On the S25 Ultra, another welcome, more comfortable...